All right. Well, hey, y'all. Welcome to 2021. This is the first Mental Health Thursday stream of the year. I had originally intended on doing a nice, relaxed, celebratory. Yay, we made it. How's everybody? How's the new year treating everybody so far? Stream for Mental Health Thursday. And yeah, yesterday happened. As some of y'all know, I was not, hang on, it appears I'm trying to set my ashtray on fire. Let's not do that. As some of y'all know, we did not end up having improv Bible study yesterday because right about the time we were supposed to be escaping into the book of the prophet Jeremiah, Congress was busy escaping through underground tunnels because sedition happened, technically. Textbook, technical, actual sedition, the violent takeover of a government building is one of the many. Yeah. So that happened. So instead, I find myself flinching every time my my phone lights up. And yeah. Instead, I'm drinking wine at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and as Brainbug says, super on edge. Yeah, so thank y'all for joining me here today. I'm going to take a moment and check in with the chat. I see a lot of my regulars and friends here in the chat today. Thank you so much for joining us. Never Again, hello. Robert X, hello. Oh, Lindsey Graham, great. Now I'm going to have to watch a speech by Lindsey Graham later today. Great. Thanks for the heads up. I didn't know he was speaking. Amber Schofield, hello. Good to see you as ever. B, welcome. Lone Wanderer's Bunker, good to see you as always. Aren't you glad you're here in America right now? Mark Caesar, the man from down under, good to see you as ever, my friend. Ox, hello. Yeah, welcome to the wonderful world of hanging out before a stream. Now you can't talk shit about the rest of us anymore. Amiga Nuts, hello. Good to see you. And Brainbug, hello. Paul Kamish is in the chat. Good to see you. Gritting but listening. And I keep thinking I'm almost caught up to the chat, and y'all keep on talking. It's amazing. Don't stop. And of course, my wonderful wife, Julie LaVoice, here in person as well as in the stream.
Hi. Ignore me. I'm like a Muppet in the corner.
Grumpy old dude, good to see you. Welcome. And I think that brings, and Angie Dell, good to see you. Lovely to see you as ever. So how's everybody doing? Everything's a little tense right now. We don't know what's going on. I'm holding it together, not without a little assistance. Glued to my phone lately, even more than your average out-of-work millennial. So there's that. Dr. Osiris, hey, good to see you. Oh, Ed, that's awesome. On the insurance. Great. Fantastic. So good to hear. I'm a little scattered, and I'm not going to tell you all any different. There I was yesterday morning, minding my own business, hanging out in the chat with Chris and Andy, watching the what should have been the terminally boring process of the ceremonial counting of the electoral votes, and then all fucking hell broke loose. Well, thank you for joining us, Angie. I'm sorry you're not feeling great, but it's glad to know you're there. As far as what happened yesterday, Harmonica Man, good to see you. I don't have anything to say that hadn't already been said, I don't think. I'm not a constitutional lawyer nor a civics expert. Oh, I'm so sorry, Linda. Sorry you feel bad. Hopefully we can just be here for you. That's all we can do for each other at this point, yes? Yeah, not a constitutional lawyer nor a civics expert, so I can't weigh in on the technical side of things. I'm just a not terribly mentally stable citizen who is sitting around worried. And I'm not unique in that. Nobody has any idea what's going on. Oh, Linda, I'm so sorry.
Oh no. Oh.
So sorry. I've been looking forward to this the last, 24 hours or so, to be honest. I need my community. I'm so glad y'all came over here. Oh, I appreciate that, Mark. Thank you. It's been been a rough day. I slept through an unconscionable amount of it, and I'm blaming that on the antibiotics, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Um, okay. Yeah, I know there's just kind of a lot of dead air here while I try to corral my thoughts and watch the chat. Not that y'all need me riding herd over you, especially not 15 seconds behind time. I've got my lovely moderator team, and there's nobody here that I don't know. So, Black Sofa, good to see you. Welcome, and welcome aboard the Patreon family. I hadn't messaged you through Patreon yet. The last couple of days have been a little hectic in old Junk Shop's brain. Jot down my memoirs. Yeah, I suspect there's going to be a lot of jotting down the next couple of days, isn't there? And who'd I... Epileptic Skeptic, good to see you, as always. So yeah, I normally try to at least have a topic for these streams. But it's for me at this point, it's just about spending time with a wonderful and very supportive community, and I thank you all again for being here. I'm gonna go make some tea. All right, Randy. I'm a little shaken up. I did not. I feel a little. Dr. Osiris, it's for my tooth. It's penicillin. Massive doses of penicillin in preparation for. Oh, I know what I meant to tell y'all. We're not going to have improv Bible study this coming up Monday. I will be recovering from. Hey, little wolf. I'll be recovering from oral surgery. One of my favorite things in the world. They're gonna take out the offending member. My tooth is causing me to sin, so I'm gonna have it plucked out and thrown away. Mama Atheist, hello. Grumble, she says. Why grumble? You know, notifications fucked up again? Is this a Jeremiah stream? No, this is a even more of a random hangout than it normally is. Though I did get the reference. If you're not moral surgery. Hey, Judy. Yes, moral surgery. I'm having all of my morals removed to better comport with my standing as an atheist. Penicillin or penicillin VK? VK. Epileptic Skeptic says, I'm always worried about what I'll say when they put me under for that kind of thing. Well, they'll have my mouth propped open and have pliers in the back. So no matter what I say, it's just going to come out as margle, margle, gargle, gargle. So, oh, flu is no fun. So sorry. So yeah, it seems like January's kind of kicking us all around a little, isn't it? Yeah, it's not cheap, Junie, especially without insurance, which we currently are. So yeah, that's going to be fun. Nerdy Rodent, hello. Sorry, y'all excuse me 1 sec.
I'm so sorry. I just meant you could tell them the good thing about how we got the good dentist and stuff.
Oh, yes.
There is an upside. It's in the American healthcare system.
Yeah, there is. I was originally scheduled to have my first consultation with a dentist a week from this coming up Monday, which would have been a long time. Kevin Lentini, hello. It would have been a long time given the amount of discomfort I'm in and the amount of ibuprofen I'm on. But a friend of mine was able to put me in touch with a dentist who was able to fit me in sooner, who conveyed to me in no uncertain terms that it was good that I had been able to come in when I was. Apparently, this is the sort of thing that can accelerate rapidly. So I'm looking forward to having this thing no longer inside my face. Not looking forward to the actual process, and I'm not looking forward to not being able to smoke for a week afterwards, but I also don't want to get the dry socket. So there's that. Bah humbug. Tough guy grumpy old dude says he usually tries to pull his own teeth. Jesus Christ.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, that's harder core than I. And my tolerance for pain is not great. It's good time to quit smoking, says Brainbud. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I'm agreeing, actually.
You're not wrong. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, it was. I was very glad the dentist. They were taking everything very seriously. It was a legit dentist. This wasn't some guy in an alley with a cosmetics mirror. This was an actual, real for sure dentist, and they took my temperature before I was even allowed to sign in, the whole 9 yards. Just reminded me of Castaway. Ew. Yeah.
Dear.
Fantastic scene in modern cinema.
Hi, Mom.
Yeah. You're looking for a dentist? The back alley dentists need work too. Yeah, we all, yeah. Yeah, Mark Caesar says, did you know that in the olden days, dying because of your teeth was very common? And that's very true, and still happens. Given that health insurance so infrequently covers Dental procedures, which is weird to me, and that there's so many things that can go wrong with your mouth can cause things to go wrong with your heart. You would think. Anyway, that's a whole nother can of worms. Yeah, we're not. If I can pull mine, I can pull yours. Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that scene in Sweeney Todd. I wager I can shave a cheek and pull a tooth faster than any street mountebank. Yeah, you can still can happen. Still can happen. Yeah. Oh, junk shops so shook by the state of the world at the moment that they'd rather talk about their own medical procedures inside their face. Take from that what you will. Here in the UK, if you ask someone if they have health insurance, they'll look at you like you're insane. Yeah, no kidding. Hey, Godless Sewing, good to see you. If you were here earlier, you must have, I must have blurred right past you. I'm sorry. Beg your pardon. It's yeah, strange times that we live in. But yes, gosh, I wish we had something along the lines of the NHS here too. It's y'all excuse me 1 second. My phone is going berserk, and that makes me nervous. Let's see. Okay, that's an advertisement. I don't care. No, it's let's see. No, this is just okay. Just being subscribed to too many news sites, so the same story gets picked up by every single one of them, and they all want to make sure that I know. The slow ones are still talking about Nancy Pelosi's press conference earlier. I have no idea what mefenamic acid is. That sounds like a more informed person than I. Joke. That's fine. I assume. Little Wolf says, I can't type today. That's all right. I apparently can't speak today. Nerdy Rodent says, thanks to lockdowns, I haven't been to the dentist for about 2 years now. Yeah, it's been longer than that for me, and some of that I can blame on insurance issues and insurance gaps, and some of that I cannot. But yeah, let me tell you, going into the offices of a healthcare professional during the current global health crisis, that was an interesting experience. I had a thought I'd seldom thunk before when I was going to sit down in the waiting room. But I was like, I wonder when was the last time they sterilized this chair? Never before in my life have I ever had that thought. I did the other day. I assume the best for fear of stressing out otherwise. We are, as some of y'all know, we are under actual, real, for sure lockdown here in Tennessee. Nothing is open except those things that are deemed essential by Governor Bill Lee. You know, like churches. Oh, it's an NSAID. Okay, I got you. Because our governor is a fucking idiot. That's easy to say about politicians, and sometimes we say that in a sort of knee-jerk way, but Bill Lee has demonstrated through his absolute absence of leadership during the pandemic that he either does not know anything or he does not give a shit. And I've told him so on Twitter many times in much more colorful language. I feel bad for whatever poor intern is responsible for Bill Lee's Twitter during the crisis, because you know he never sees that, but some poor intern just has to go in and delete expletive, 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 or just not respond to it, or both. All right. So we've got an international community here. How are y'all? How are y'all dealing with the current situation? And that's. I mean, I know it's made it much easier to remember my medication schedule. I have not missed a dose of my fluoxetine in I don't know how long. The UK's in national lockdown. Yeah, and a harder core one than ours. Our half-assed little lockdown here in Tennessee, Bill, is not what it could be, and certainly not what it should be. You can still have as big a wedding as you want, and you don't have to wear masks. It's like, yes, let's create lots and lots and lots of tiny little super spreader events. Awesome. That's why we were #1 in the world for 7-day average rolling infections for a while. I think it was Arizona recently outstripped us. YouTube is my therapist, says Kevin Lentini. Yes. I get, if I'm being honest, I get more out of my time and experience and community that I have on YouTube and some other social media circles, carefully curated social media circles, than I do out of my actual mental health professionals. Because among other things, I see y'all all the damn time. Linda says Denmark is on lockdown until the 17th. Yeah. Our lockdown here in Tennessee extends through I think it was just for a month. So it's through not quite the end of January. You think? All right. Take care, Ed. Take care, Amber. Stay safe, y'all. Mark Caesar says, I'm pulling that up. Says Says, you think you've got it hard? Just think of the hardships we have here in Western Australia. I mean, our latest cricket game was 25% attendance. So bad. Yeah, but y'all started out the year completely on fire. So I'm not going to give you too much shit about that. Or, well, last year. Last year you started out on fire. Robert X says, my monitor is wearing a mask. Good. Good. That was one of the many disturbing things about the footage of yesterday's Washington, D.C. incident was the sheer number of people who were not wearing masks of any kind. And there's a part of me that's just read too many novels and watched too many dystopian fiction films and TV shows where you just want to say, look, if you're going to commit active sedition in a police state, why are you not wearing a mask of some kind? Let alone during the height of a global pandemic that's airborne. You stupid motherfuckers. It's like y'all thought the Christmas super spreader events were going to be bad. They're estimating, what, 10,000 people at that protest? Kevin says, we're locked down pretty tight in California. I know a few people who are still throwing parties. I know, right? But I'm not going to any of them. Good. Good. Yeah, I told you all about the amount of time we spent because we ended up, well, we forgot to buy champagne early, is essentially what it boiled down to. And then we were like, while we're here anyway, let's just go ahead and stock up for the next week or two. So we were in Kroger on New Year's Eve. Because we went to college. But we were in Kroger on New Year's Eve, and that was when I was almost late for the stream because we were in line for 60 solid minutes. And I saw 3 people just flat not wearing their masks. But a couple of people ahead of me in line, a couple of people ahead of us in line, there was what was obviously a family buying like shit in bulk, including Dixie cups and party napkins. While we were in lockdown, Lee finally got his ass off the couch and declared lockdown on the 26th of December, which means by New Year's Eve, we've been on lockdown for hey, GeoSam, for several days. And yet people obviously buying party supplies for New Year's Eve parties. I mean, we're just now starting to see the coronavirus spikes from the Christmas super spreader events. You know, The New Year's Eve ones are next, and now we're going to have huge ones in the nation's capital because 10,000 people decided not to wear masks and congregate together. Because y'all, some people out there are dumb motherfuckers and impervious to information. And I don't know which annoys me more. I mean, there's a level at which you can't blame somebody for being dumb. But there's just plain being dumb, and there's acting on your dumb. And then there's the impervious to information part. Yeah, see, Brainbug did it right. New Year's party, just us and the kiddos. Yep. We had a massive blowout New Year's Eve party here. There were something like 15 people, if you count fish as people. If you don't count fish as people, it was 2 of us. Which is how you should be doing it. Household only together. Jesus Christ, this is not hard. We could have been done with this shit ages ago if we'd taken it seriously and done what the scientists said, you know, like New Zealand. Our New Year's was us and the dogs, says Linda. Exactly. Exactly. Good. Good. I feel like I'm ranting and rambling. Phylogenetic, says Brainbug. We did have a phylogenetic party, that's true. If you don't count fish as people, it was 0 because you never outgrow your ancestry. Cheers. Well done. Not allowing anyone at your swearing in ceremony. Good. Good. Sorry. But good. There was a question at Pelosi's press conference just before we went live, rather, just before we went live here, where she was asked about the inauguration, if there were, you know, about the security precautions for the inauguration in not bloody log. And one of the many things she said, because she spoke at length about that, about how safe it was going to be, how secure it was going to be, how long they'd been planning this, how much the National Security Agency was going to be involved, so forth and so on. But one of the things that she said was, I don't think it could get much smaller. So at least some of the higher ups are taking it some level of serious. Let's see. I saw that pop by, epileptic skeptic. I'm sorry. It's really not that hard to pronounce. I'm just a little twitchy and I've had a glass of wine. I was invited to a baby shower recently. The invite didn't include anything about masks or social distancing. I felt too self-conscious to ask about it, so I just didn't go. I think that was probably the right call. COVID denying family members, yes. Yep, there's a couple of extended family members that I know for sure are at least at some level deniers, or at least deniers of the severity of it. And there are there's bound to be active deniers out there somewhere, just based on numbers and where we are. Let me put it that way. Oh, and 2 who died from it. I'm so sorry. I've been I've been very, very lucky on both fronts. I have not myself caught it, and none of my family has caught it, which is good because the majority of my family are, for whatever reason, in what you would call high risk categories, which has not, shall we say, it has not helped with old Junk Shop's baseline anxiety reading, as it were. Little Wolf says, bipeds are okay with putting on shirts and shoes. What's wrong with masking up too? I know, right? We're gonna, no shoes, no shirt, no mask, no service is gonna be, I think we're gonna start seeing those, and I think we're gonna see signs like that for a while. A lot of people seem to have this idea that it's like playing that game, Plague Incorporated, you know, where as soon as the vaccine begins to be distributed, you lose because you play as the plague. And once the vaccine starts to be distributed, your numbers start dropping, and eventually everyone is vaccinated across the entire world and you have no power anymore. And that's just not how the world works. My cousin came over. That's awesome. My cousin came over, says Harmonica Man. My cousin came over the other day and said, what if the COVID is true? I went off on that idiot like he's never heard in his life, and then I stole his pint. He fucking well deserved it, too. COVID deniers don't deserve beer. COVID deniers deserve to, like, work as paperwork pushers in emergency rooms or some shit is what they deserve, but... All right. Well, if you surf, if you end up falling out on us, take care, my friend. Good to see you. Geo Sam says, did you see the mask wearing by the House Senate? Yeah, right? Half on, not on, with the nose out. It's like letting your pants fall down and pulling them back up. Exactly. Exactly. And there was one guy, I wish I could remember who it was, but he pulled his mask down to his chin to do his speaking. I was like, why not just take the fucking thing off? Just do what some of the other people are doing and just outright take it off, you know, spray your micro droplets all over the microphone and just move on with your life, you know, fill the entire air processing system. I don't know. I'm sure the air processing system in the halls of Congress is as good as it's physically capable to get them, so. Oh, didn't show on your subpage yet again. Yeah, well, that's all of our notifications are all mucked up at this point. So why did I say that? Fucked up. I curse on this channel. Everybody knows that. That's why none of these are marked suitable for children. The wearing of a mask is not a fashion statement. Agreed. Agreed, Sam. It's a necessity. I mean, how many years has it been since that virus outbreak in Japan, and it's still completely normal to see people walking around with masks on. I mean, hopefully there's going to come a point in United States history when it's no longer expected that you wear a mask when you go into, say, a bank, but you know, this is going to be us for a while, and the people who either just don't fucking get that, or just won't fucking admit that, is astounding to me. And it's, yeah, exactly. Linda says people don't seem to get the term face mask. It goes over your mouth and your nose. Yeah, people don't seem to understand that part of their concern seems to be that they breathe through their nose and not just through their mouth. Well, yeah, motherfucker, that's the point. It's, yeah. So it's a stressful time for so many reasons. There was a way in which a lot of people, and I will include myself in that, kind of had at least one track in their head that was sort of running the idea that the bulk of the crazy will leave behind in 2020. It was a shit year. Everybody knew it was a shit year. It was just one thing after another, and we had resolved that 21 was going to be better. I'm sure by now y'all have seen the Photoshop meme on Twitter or Facebook or wherever that's got Joaquin Phoenix's Joker on the stairs, and photoshopped in next to him is the clown from It, and the caption reads something like 2020 showing 2021 around the workspace. You know, we've assigned this entirely arbitrary point on the calendar of turning over a new leaf, and it's like this year so far has been a fairly brutal reminder that reality doesn't care what the calendar says. We're seeing the chin warmers. Yeah, Junie, exactly. It's like, why even bother the people who wear it here or the people who wear it here? It's like, do you breathe through your larynx? Why even bother? Godless Sewing says, where I live, masks have become a political statement, and that's just sad. Agreed. The people who dramatically don't wear them just as a statement. Yeah, that's scary. That there are people who either don't believe it's real or don't care. And whether that comes from ignorance or whether that comes from being in deep, deep denial, it's scary regardless, because a virus doesn't care why you're spreading it. It doesn't care if you're ignorant to its existence or in denial about its existence. Doesn't give a shit. Yes. Ozma in the Dark says, and welcome, by the way. Sorry if I didn't see you before. I mean, true, but like, yeah, we totally need to clamp down on the whole fascism thing. Agreed. And that was one of the many frightening and disturbing things about yesterday's events in the Capitol. Is the idea that you had, you know, every man, Joe on the street, marching proudly in active support of fascism. Because make no mistake, that is what the modern, I'm not going to say the Republican Party writ large, but that's what Trumpism stands for, is fascism. And I want to tread carefully here because I myself am not Jewish. So I cannot speak to that experience, and I make no pretense that I can. But the slogans and the graphics on the garb of some of these seditionists who stormed our nation's capital yesterday were at the very least deeply disturbing. And I'm not going to repeat any of the slogans, and I'm not going to display any of the images. And I would greatly appreciate it if no one in the chat did either. Hey, Doorknob Head. But some of the sentiments that were expressed and espoused by some of those seditionists were openly, flagrantly anti-Semitic is the kindest way to put it, and some of them actively espoused genocide. And that's, I mean, the United States has survived the sacking of the Capitol before. Countries do not tend to survive descent into genocidal madness. And that's one of the many things that scares me absolutely shitless. There was a point. Now, hang on one second. I'm scrolling back up through the chat. Ozma points out, we did survive 2020. I'm sure we can take on 2021. I mean, like, I know Trump can't do more. He has lost completely. And very, very recently, in fact, yesterday, I would have agreed with you. And then I saw a statistic online this morning that just absolutely made my blood run cold. Trump is in office for 13 days more. The Cuban Missile Crisis lasted for 12. This terrifying fascist is still, at the absolute minimum, the symbolic, and for all practical intents and purposes, the actual head of our government and our armed forces for almost another 2 solid weeks. And that's fucking terrifying. There's no other way I know how to phrase it. That is absolutely fucking terrifying. This is going to be a long couple of weeks, y'all. It's going to be long here in America, and it's going to be long for the world. Because like it or not, everything we do here has goddamn global consequences. It is the terrifying, awesome burden of being a superpower. The calls for him to be removed from office are growing and coming from higher and higher echelons of power. But I don't know how much good that's going to do. And I'm scared witless. Yes, Amiga Nuts. The Iran Interpol situation is disturbing, but real. And you know, he's all right. Take care, Black Sofa. And as much as I hate to admit it, there was a time when I enjoyed checking the news every morning. It's like, let's see what stupid the idiot got up to in the night. It's been a while, though. And it's wearing. It is wearing on me. And we got to slog through almost 2 more weeks of this, y'all. I'm so tired. Part of that's the anxiety, part of that's the depression, part of that's the massive doses of penicillin, part of that's situational stress, part of that's, I mean, it's a little bit of everything. And I don't have nearly as much going on with me or in my life as a lot of folks do. I don't have any family members in the armed services. We live in exhausting times. Mark had a serious question, God help us. Serious question. Do you see this as a sign of the impending demise of the U.S. as a world power? At least as much of a world power as it has been. That's a good question. It all comes down to the next 2 weeks, doesn't it? I've got no illusions about what Biden really is. He's a conservative. He's no kind of progressive. But he is not actively malefic. And he, at least as far as we know, is not a fascist. 4 more years of what we're dealing with right now, and this country, I almost said could have been, would have been, entirely fucking unrecognizable. I'm not a political scientist, so I can't even armchair prognosticate what the next couple of weeks will bring. I'm sure we've lost a lot of respect on the world stage since the day before yesterday. Shit happens fast, y'all. Yeah. There would have either been a civil war or something else. You're not wrong, Osman. You're not wrong. I mean, this is not just uncertain times. These are scary times. I mean, I'm a queer pansexual atheist activist, and there's oodles of proof of that on the internet. The idea of 4 more years of Trump or worse, something happening where Pence came to power. Oh, and mental illness diagnosed. Yes, true. Also true. Yeah, I'm not sure there's much scarier for some of us on certain margins than the idea of a Pence presidency. Trump is unstable and dangerous, and that's one thing. Pence is stable and focused and dangerous, and that's horrifying. I mean, you want to talk about lesser of two evils. You got your choice between fascism and Christo-fascism. Shit. But assuming the organs of government hold steady for another 14 days, we'll be under the rule of just a regular ass boring conservative. with Democratic majority in the House and the Senate. And unlike another 4 years of Trump and Mitch McConnell, that will be survivable. I'm sorry that I have made this into an American politics stream. I did not intend it to, but I'm in America, and yesterday happened, so there's only so much. There's only so much I could keep it all inside. Yeah. The boring ones, says Ox, the boring ones seem to get the most done, right? It's because they're not constantly, their entire administration is not constantly distracted by scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal. Well, y'all, we've been going over an hour. I've been unburdening myself onto y'all for over an hour. So we're going to be wrapping up here. I want to thank y'all all for coming. New friends, old friends, all y'all. It's going to be a stressful little while. At the very, very least, it's going to be a stressful 13 days. Like Ed says, take care of yourselves. Try and take care of each other. And if you've got just to bring this down to absolute zero for a second, if you got Jewish family or friends or acquaintances, reach out to them. And I talked a little earlier about the violent, genocidal, anti-Semitic elements that joined in the sedition that happened yesterday. If you need help, if you need support, my DMs on the various platforms are open. I'm happy to listen and nod and probably agree with you on 90% of what you gotta say. I don't pretend we're all on 100% the same page on everything, because that's what you call an echo chamber, and that's how shit like yesterday happens. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for letting me talk at y'all. Thank y'all for talking to me. Be safe out there, y'all. And As we always say before we roll out of here, everybody take care. Everybody be safe. And for the love of whatever gods you do or do not believe in, stand against hate. And wear your mask and do it properly. Take care.